Some quick news and notes from the last few days since Game 7 of the World Series. For the Padres, got my Padres jersey on. Robert Suarez opts out. He'll become a free agent, so a big closer in the free agent market for 2026. And then Darvish is undergoing Tommy John surgery, so he'll be out the entirety of 2026, looking to return in 2027. I'm curious if we actually see him pitch in the big leagues again as a starter. So I know he's getting up there in age, so fairly interesting situation there. The Marlins, they promoted Gabe Kapler to general manager. Former coach of the Giants found his way in the Marlins, where he's now the GM. Kind of feels like an odd move to me. I know he's a couple of the reports said that in his role as assistant GM, he's been pretty active, and they liked him enough clearly to make him their GM. So see how that plays out over the next couple of years. So good for Gabe Kapler, I guess. Congratulations on the promotion. For the Mets, Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso both opt out. I'm really curious to see if they both end up re-signing with the Mets. Pete Alonso feels like this is where he wants to be, but the Mets may not feel the same way. So I'm curious if he ends up leaving and if Edwin Diaz decides to go as well. For the Yankees, Cody Bellinger opts out. This feels like he's going to return. It just feels like he had his best year with the Yankees the last couple years. So I think that we see him back in Yankee Stadium as long as he's going to be looking for that long-term contract at this point. He wants to get that 5 or 6, maybe 7-year deal from a team. And as soon as someone puts up that offer, I think he takes it. Red Sox, Alex Bregman opts out. So we kind of knew this was coming. He got his 1 year in, got that $40 million, and now he's looking to move on or maybe return, but with a longer contract. It's probably worth getting somewhere between 6 and 8 years. Somewhere between 25 and 30 million a year, maybe as high as 35 million a year. So curious where he ends up. I imagine he ends up back in Boston. That would be very surprising for me if he ended up leaving. So we shall see. Trevor Story does opt into his contract, so they do hold on and retain Trevor Story. Hopefully he can stay healthy once again for 2026. For the Brewers, Rhys Hoskins and Jose Quintana were both declined options, and they are now free agents. Curious to see where they land. William Contreras, his option was declined, but he still remains with the team. He's in his 2nd year of arbitration. For the Braves, Ha-Seong Kim opts out. Kind of unsurprising. He didn't play very much for the Rays and then was traded to the Braves. So he needs to get going somewhere and get a little bit of a structure in like a 2 or 3 year contract to get back into his maybe all-star form. Walt Weiss is hired as the manager. Brian Snitker immediately said after he left mutually that Walt Weiss, he'd love to come in and take over as manager. And here we are. The Braves hire him. The White Sox, they pick up Luis Roberts' $20 million option, completely unsurprising. He's one of the probably most underrated players in baseball and underpaid players in baseball. It's too bad. I'd love to see him out of Chicago. Hopefully there's a trade this offseason sending him to a contender. But at this current moment, he's a White Sox and he's still making $20 million a year. The Cubs, in my eyes, a little surprising. They declined Shota Imanaga's 3-year, $57 million option. This is a piece where he could still start, but maybe a back end of the bullpen guy now. Maybe some long relief outings. Now, I don't know if I would have paid him at about $20 million a year. I think it was an average of $19 million a year. Maybe a little high for the risk I'm willing to take. But I think there's a lot of teams that would be in on him in free agency. Andrew Kittredge was traded from the Cubs back to the Orioles just for cash. So basically a loan between the Cubs and the Orioles there. And then finally, Jack Flaherty opts into his contract. He'll make $20 million in 2026. Unsurprising. He was very solid for them this year and looks to continue that momentum into 2026. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about a lot of these moves. I mean, Suarez immediately becomes maybe the best closer option in the free agent market. And Braves fans probably got to feel a little excited about Walt Weiss becoming your manager. So thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.